So, this is my first time of doing this ever with my hero. Like, or is it the first? Not the first time. I don't know really, because I think I attempted this once, but it failed because I didn't know what to do. And I don't see this out there this much. But what if Izuku Midoriya was a werewolf? Let's get into this. What if the world we all knew was more than we thought it was? What if things weren't as easy as they seem to be? You know, like the natural world of quirks and superpowers raining down from hell itself. You know, I've always thought by living in a world of superpowers, I'd want to become one. And I always do. And I wanted to. That was my dream. But after being shot down by a doctor and being told that I was not going to ever gain a quirk, I didn't give up. Why should somebody else tell me to give up on my dream? I'm not going to ever give up. It's my dream, something I want. If I want it, I'm going to take it. And nobody's going to stop me. Because the boy would simply be looked over as... It'll be 2 months before the canon starts. Izuku Midoriya was once... It was a boy who was quirkless. The Green Ant would just be going through his notebook as usual. It was a normal day, nothing too out of place. As simply everything was going normal. They had a class assignment that was going on recently, but, you know, nothing too freaking out of place. Until they were told by a teacher that, as their teacher say, so we will be going on a camping trip this week for 3 weeks at total. As Izuku to hear 3 weeks of camping, yeah, no. Simply as hearing the camping trip, he wasn't rude to the fact of it, or cruel. He just doesn't really want to go into something that really wouldn't be any good for him. What will it help? Nothing really. Simply as the teachers would hand out the sheets, Bakugo would simply scoff at the trip. A trip in the woods? How's that gonna do? Simply as this was only annoying Bakugo Katsuki, as he would just decide, well, he ain't gonna deal with this shit. So he proceeds to throw the damn sheets, but throw the damn sheet in his bag, as simply school would end. And Zuko would try to make it out the class door, but as he got up, making his way toward the door, he was violently grabbed by something and thrown to the classroom wall side, forcefully, as everyone else would make their way unnoticed. Like they didn't even care. And the teachers just looked at Midoriya and Bakugo and the other students and Bakugo's lackeys and simply turned and walked away. Izuku was still pretty shooken by Bakugo's aggressive walking. Bakugo took to grab Izuku as he seemed to look at the nerd. So, what the hell are you doing? What's that in your hand? As Bakugo simply says, Nothing. It's just Zuko sees one of his notebooks in his hands. It's just for the camping trip. Zuko simply lie. Bakugo simply scoff. Really now? For the camping trip. Bakugo would simply scowl. Whatever. You're not planning to go to UA, are you, nerd? Zuko would say, it's worth a try, as yet again another explosion to hit him dead in the chest, as the boy would cry out in pain. As Bakugo would say, if you know what's good for you, you will resign, withdraw it. Bakugo says, your application completely. Because why would UA take in a quirkless loser like you? But they said they took off the no quirk usage. That quirkless could do it too. They took that down a few years ago. As about to pick up Izuku, as Priscilla slam his fist into the boy's gut, and simply the boy would cough over. Yeah. But you're quirkless. You're the useless Deku. Who would want the useless Deku actually doing right? It's a joke. Stay out of UA, nerd. Only I'm gonna go to UA in this shitty school. As Bakugo would simply scoff as leaving in the classroom, Izuku would proceed to holding himself, and a few tears would trickle down his face as simply this was a normal day. Ow. As he would get up slowly, his stomach was tender. As once he made it out to the school ground, he quickly made his way back home. And once he arrived back home, he was welcomed by his mother, and would simply say, Izuku, you finally arrived back home. That's good, as she simply says. Dinner's almost ready, as Izuku would simply nod. Yeah, thanks, as the boy simply says, pushing him to the side, opening the door, and, closing it. What makes you think that the boy would simply just be okay with eating dinner right now? As Zuko slept for a while until dinner was ready and came out to eat. At the dinner table, the two Midori's would be quiet as Cinco would say, I heard from Misuki that your class is going on a camping trip, as she simply says. Izuku groaning in his mind, finding out she found out. Yeah. So you're gonna go? As Cinco simply says. No, I might just stay home. Cinco would see how her child was simply trying to put it to the side. Izuku, you have to try new things for yourself. You can't just depend on one thing. And as she would struggle to say the words, that's too far for you. Zuko could feel it yet again. More pain in his heart, breaking. And who knows, maybe something good will come out of it. Zuko scowled as finding good. Okay. And Coach would say, you'll go to the school. You're gonna go to the camping trip. Izuku blinked, but Mom, it's final, she simply says. You need this, you need a break. You've been doing your hero journals, and I allowed you because it was a way to show vent your emotions and have some way of showing like your dream. But you need a break from it. The boy would simply sigh, finding it irritating. But I don't. Zuko, just please listen to me. You're always in your room, or you're on the computer looking for more hero fights, or you're out there trying to look for a hero fight. And you're never doing something else. I just want you to do something else than heroes. Is that okay? She simply says. The boy would simply sigh and nod, understanding where she was coming from. Thank you, she simply says. Izuku would continue to go back to eating his dish as Inko would sign the papers for the camping trip, and the next day he gave it to his teacher, and hell began in an event that would change his life forever. Time skip to the day of the camping trip, as it was that day finally they would arrive. It was a moment that the boy knew he was going to go on a trip to the woods, a nearby woods far further than the ones he grew up in. And mostly this was not going to be something that he would like, but hey, what's the worst that can happen? The trip took about 5 hours to get to the camping spot. Once it made it way out far from the cities and into good parts of the woodland, the high woods and trees and life. There's a lot of creeks and meadows and many beautiful things about the forest. And lots of animals were around. And once they made their way out, clearly this was morally shown. The boy was shocked, just shocked in general. Like, look at this place. It was one thing just to have all this here, but another thing just to see it all so in front. The air smelled different. It technically tastes different, but it's hard to decipher. And it was so peaceful. It wasn't like the cities. The cities is beautiful in their own way, but it's just a beauty of calm, relaxation, peace, tranquility. This is when the teacher would simply say, all right, as he'll basically tell the class just what to do as they would start to camp. They'll have a camp, pretty much a park ranger to tell them how to put tents up and, the usual. This was fun for a while until they had the group in pairs. And guess who he had as a pair partner? Yep, Kachan. How exciting. Izuku really, didn't plan of clearly having the Asher Blonde as a partner. The boy simply didn't want to be around him. And clearly, the Izuku deep down within him knew he didn't want him around either. But this was gonna be just a bit better. And it was seemingly supposed to be great, as everything would be going just fine. Koski wasn't paying any attention to him. He was just pushing him to the side, not talking, not telling, not saying anything. Until, they were supposed to gather food. The park ranger already brought the meat, so they needed to go find fruits and fruits out in the woods, and well, and it was a clear middle of the night. Not clear middle of the night, but the sun was setting. The park ranger did warn them one thing: to stay out for bears, mountain lions, and especially wolves. They heard that the wolves get pretty big out here because of the evolution of humans, and sometimes some wolves even have quirks, which is kind of unbelievable. But really, Azuka didn't really think he'd ever see a wolf quirk. That it's an animal. So, yes, there's many other things to do. And everybody, well, got food. Once they got food and technically got it, it was, well, they were telling a campfire story. One of Azuka's classmates would be telling a story, an old story that, well, his father's father and his father's father told his family line. It's about the old tale of the man wolf. As the boy simply described, the man wolf always come out every new moon. Every full moon he'll howl, howling loud. This howl will carry for miles upon end. He proceeds to run around, hunting everything in sight, killing everything. And if he ever bit a human, they'll become a man wolf themselves. And the curse was passed down to man, to woman, to child. It was unbelievable. It caused so much havoc upon people. They said that the man wolf was still out there, waiting for its next victim, its next prey, so it can clamp its jaws and spread the lineage of the man wolf. Simply as some of the classmates would slightly be spooked, but majority of them would simply call the boy crazy. Goski simply scoffed of hearing the story, not believing what the fuck the guy was even saying. Well, Izuku, you don't have to call him crazy. He wasn't fascinated, but he was intrigued. Not in an interesting way, but just intrigued in a fearful way. A man beast that can basically bite you and change you into a man beast. Wasn't that a werewolf? You heard of those stories. His mom always pretty much told those stories on Halloween, but that was different. But yet, as he looked up to the full moon in the sky, seeing it, it was clearly rising as continuing. The sun set a few hours ago. Simply, he wouldn't believe one word. Why the fuck would he? Would he really trust the words of one of his classmates who's a teenager, just like him? He's just trying to scare the rest of us. Simply as the fire started to get really low, simply the teacher asked, Midoriya, can you get some more firewood? Izuku would blink as hearing this. You want me to go get some more firewood? Yes, Kosuke can go along with you. Kosuke would simply scoff as I find it irritating. As well, the two would go do just that. Go get some firewood. Yes, the two would go as going on to get some firewood. Going deeper into the forest is simply what they needed. Firewood was dry, easily dried up branches that were simple and large, at least, to be burned. And also good branches that can be also used. Kosuke had a pile already, while Izuku had a couple here and there. Koski simply scoffed as finding this irritating. Why the hell do I have to stay with you? Out of all people. Izuku simply says, I don't know, Kachan. I just guess we're just partners. This is how it is. Being partners with a quirkless loser. Annoying. My greatness. Partner with a quirkless loser like you. Disgusting, as Bakio simply says. Izuku found it very, painful here. The boys simply continue picking up firewood as this should be enough, as Izuku simply says. Alright, let's go. The boy smiled. Bakio simply scowled as they tried to turn and head back. So, got John, as the boy simply asked. You're gonna go to UA. Yeah, and I'll be the first to go there. In the damn shitty school anyways. And you're gonna bail out of UA. They wanted to take the quick lose like you anyways. Yeah, but I can still try. It's always been my Bakio simply stop, dropping the sticks immediately as grabbing Izuku as he also dropped his own pile of luggage as Bakio snarl. Now you listen here, little fucker. You're gonna drop your application and you're gonna go on your merry fucking way. Go do whatever you want. Take a swan dive over the building till all I care. The one thing that I don't want to see. I swear to God, if you make one step towards the way, I will kill you myself, as Bakio simply snapped. Izuku was shocked as simply as something within him for the very first time over a long while boiled anger. As he pushed Bakio back, surprisingly what he felt from Bakio was awfully strange. He didn't feel what he should have felt from the ash blonde boy. His chest was very soft, pushing him back anyways, forgetting the feeling as simply the boy was to say, you're always pulling me down, telling me what I should and shouldn't be. But when have you ever looked at my dreams as my own? You're always calling me a quirkless loser. But you know what? I want to become a pro hero. I want to be just like All Might. We used to be friends. But maybe we weren't friends at all. You're always treating me like trash. I just wanted to go back to the way it was. But that'll never happen in the way you're acting. Bakio was surprised how the damn nerd stood up for himself. As simply the boy said, finally grew a pair. But the wrong fucking time, as Bakio snapped. What makes a piece of shit like you ever want to become a hero? Why would the commission take you? Look at you. You can barely even stand up to me. Neither fight me. You think you can stand up to a pro hero or a villain? As Bakio starts popping up explosions, what you need to do is you need to go fuck off. As Bakio simply sent an explosion, as the explosion would hit Izuku as sending him crash into a tree as simply Bakio snarl. And next time, as Bakio grabbed him violently, maybe you should go do something for me. Go take a tumble, but look for some more damn wood as kicking the boy away as simply the boy would take a few steps back as simply Izuku would growl as finding this irritating as then he would start to fall. The boy would fall as crumbling as the ground underneath would crumble as he started to get on the ground as falling to whereby trees and branches. Bakio simply scoffed, knowing that Izuku was just fine. Bakio picked up his luggage of firewood and is making his way back to the campsite. While down where Izuku was, he proceeded to to look as finding that this was a pretty big slope that he fell down. Probably 10 feet or 15. Seeing that there's a way up. Simply as the boy simply sighed. Oh man. The boy got up slowly. It was something, but he didn't need to be no damn brat. As simply getting slowly, as very slowly as he heard a twig snapping. The boy turned to see, well, glowing pairs of eyes. They were bright color and oranges like. Simply the boy blinked as the eyes were large and they had a slit in them. The boy wondered if this was somebody actually saying hello. As the eyes got closer and he started seeing a shape. And well, the shape that he saw wasn't human, it was animalistic and it was big. As what he saw was a large canine-like creature, simply it would bare its fangs. Was that a bear? It looked like a bear, how big it was, but no, it was definitely canine, because with the way its face looked, you could barely see, but through the moonlight shining down, he could see it had brown fur. As the beast would simply snarl as coming closer as Izuku started to panic. The boy grabbed the stick as stay back. As the boy would shake, as the stick would as he would swing the stick, as the beast would simply growl. As it would jump forward, as Izuku would surprisingly get out the way quickly, as the beast would simply snarl, running after him. Izuku was surprised that this thing was so fast. This thing was at least as big as Endeavor or All Might. Heck, probably as big as Death Arms. Oh shit, come on, run faster. Come on. Izuku got to one of the ledges and proceeded to grab it and started to run up the ledge. Come on. As he made it up the ledge, as finally started running, as the beast simply jumped over the ledge, as running, proceeding to chase him down. The boy would continue looking back, seeing where was the creature. It was gone. As before he knew it, he was pinned down, as feeling a pain on his shoulder side, as seeing the beast tear into him. The boy would scream as he proceeded to try to remove the beast from him, but simply he would see a stick. The stick was sharp, as proceeding to pull it and stabbing it in his eye. The beast would howl out as Izuku would proceed to swing the stick, as it would get in the head, snapping, and breaking, as the beast would simply running away, as he would proceed to whine and cry out. Izuku proceeded to not to deal with the crap that he was dealing with, and just decided to make his way back to, the campsite. Izuku proceeded to hold his shoulder, and it was really hurting badly. Looking at it, as he simply felt seeing blood on his hands that wouldn't play out, as he breathed heavily as he got closer and closer to the campsite, as he finally made it, as simply the boy before seeing his teacher Midoriya. Where were you? And Kosuke brought the firewood. The boy says, fine, as the boy collapsed. As most of the class wouldn't do anything, but the teacher would proceed to rush towards the boy, look at the boy, as seeing that he had a large bite mark on his shoulder to the middle left avenue of his chest as simply saying towards the park ranger, he's been bitten, as one of them park rangers would come up and look at the boy as simply saying, he's been bitten by a wolf. That's a wolf bite? It's pretty large, probably one of the big ones. It's rare seeing one of those around. As simply as they proceeded to put the boy into the tent, as letting him rest. Once they bandaged him and wrapped him up. The next day, if you can say how tired Midori Izuku was, he was exhausted. Very exhausted. How would you feel if you were bitten by some bear-like wolf creature and you see after being bitten, almost bleed to death? It'll make you have a very traumatic feeling and rethink your life choices at those moments. Izuku Midori only thought one thing: becoming a pro hero. That's all he really thought of. And, well, that's the same. The boy simply woke up as, well, his whole thing was technically dead? No. He was alive, but barely. He was awake. As he proceeded to look around, it was still pretty dark. It looked dark as he would pull out his phone and see that it was, 4 something in the morning. So, technically, he's still awake. He proceeded to, turn to his side as seeing red eyes looking at him directly. He would pause as those eyes would look into his own. The boy would scream, but something was put on his face, as closing his mouth, as simply hearing the voice, recognizing his Koski, simply saying, "Shut up." Koski's voice sounded very, different. As the actual blonde boy would simply say, as Izuku would particularly fret at the moment, but after, trying so hard not to flail, he stopped flailing and got up and looked at Koski as something was off. Very off about what he was looking at. Even though it was very dark outside, still, he could see partially, and Koski's figure wasn't really the same. As you could blink a single Yash blonde boy, and it looked very eminent. Kachan? What happened? As the boy rubbed his head. You were bitten as the boy simply says. Izuku squinted his eyes. "Oh, Mitsuki?" as the boy simply asked. The ash blonde would have a tick mark on his head as he was saying, "Watch it," as he simply growled. "Something wrong with your voice, Kachan. It sounds different." Bakio simply sighed as, "Alright, listen. I want you to listen very closely." Izuku would listen as simply saying, "I'm not what you originally expected." The boy looking at Koski as, now getting a good look. Koski didn't look like, Kachan. And surprisingly, what he was saying was a girl in his tent. Wasn't Kachan was his partner? He blinked at seeing her simply as, well, that was, something. He would proceed to look down the chest as, instead of just a bare male chest, was, well, large D cups. The boy blinked as, huh? An explosion would pop as the boy would snap out of it by the fear that snapped into him immediately as Bakugo would snarl. Watch where your eyes go, as she simply says, wait, Zuko blinked. You were a girl? Since when? Simply as Katsuki sighed. Thought you would have noticed by now. But hey, who am I knowing? Who am I to judge? As the Ash Blonde simply says, I thought your mom told you about this. Since when? You were never... Zuko blinked this. There's a couple times Mom did ask if, well, Katsuki looked any different to him, but he always said Kachan was Kachan. The boy simply blinked as, rubbing his head. How? Since when? You were a girl? You look like Aunt Miski. That's the old hag. I'm her daughter, for God's sake. Bakugo was beside us. She proceeded to put a hand on her face. Look, I keep appearances for a good reason. I don't want people to know my real gender. And number two, you're gonna keep it for me. 'Cause now you know. Alright? As she simply says. And if you don't, I should proceed to grab him by the collars. He started to choke him. I'll literally kill you myself. Got it? Zuko nodded, simply saying, you girl. Okay. But looks like you blinked. So, you're a girl the whole time. Why did you not grow out your hair? Don't look too feminine, as she simply says. Oh. You need to keep your disguise in check. Right, Izuku says. As he proceeded to look at his bandage and seeing how it covered, well, the majority of his chest out as she simply put to the tent door as simply as it would not. Okay. After leaving and allowing her to dress. Once everyone was up and going, everything was swell. The park rangers simply asked, as they had to cut the trip to a short because, well, Midori was attacked by some animal. The park says it was like a wolf, but majority says it was too big to be a wolf, so they just called it off to be a bear. Zuko clearly knew it wasn't a bear, it was a wolf. Or maybe it was a bear. It was just way too big. Like, really, really, really big. Or it could be a wolf. Like everybody says. Like, really. Was he going to stop and not believe that? No. But the championship was over and he was glad. He only had a few more, weeks until he could put his application for UA, but that wasn't anything bad. Once he arrived back home, Inko was, worried. She clearly, once he arrived home, did her usual mother thing of crying over her child. Izuku was, as we all can say, not tearful, but nor was he happy. He just really appreciated the chance he had with his mom. And the boy clearly, he got back to his mother's arms. He simply says, Mom, I have a question. Or, no, not a question, something I need to ask you. And Ghost says, what is it? It's about a Kachan. The woman had a look on her face that simply said, so you finally noticed that Kachan was a girl? Yes, Suzuki, clearly. We were trying to clearly show you. I mean, Mithra trying to show you that, but you only saw Kakashi as a boy. Well, Kachan always pretty much acted like a guy. No, she didn't. Huh. I guess he didn't know that. There's just a few times where she was on her period, and that the boy simply shook his head no. Well, now you think about it. Yeah. He did notice. Kachan did get madder during a couple of months here and there, but oh shit. How did he not know? The boy simply rubbed his head. Yeah. That's my fault. Okay, as Suzuki says, I understand. Inko would nod his understanding just so. Good, at least you'd understand and noticed. Now, Inko says, was you hurt badly? I know you were bitten by, they said a bear? Yeah, I just don't really want to talk about it, Izuku simply says. Simply as, well, Inko would agree and nod as they would not talk about what they saw. Not saw, but heard. And Izuku was just fine. Things rolled like the original and everything was going well. But there were some things that were changing. He noticed some things, like the little bit things, small things. Like how slightly that his hearing started to sharpen up. There were times he can listen to people talking, even if they're across the hallway. The how? I don't know. He saw flies in slow motion. And, well, that was it. The boy simply saw those cues and not really anything else. He wondered what's going on with his senses, simply wondering, might be something going on with my senses. Something going on with me. But nothing too crazy. The boy was happy. Katsuki wasn't really hitting him. She was more of just not really bothering. She was just to the side. She also was, I guess, doing better. Izuku was, well, happy. After the Sludgeville incident that happened, well, a few days ago, things didn't really change. One thing is that All Might didn't really come over around. He was still scolded. That was mostly clearly that stayed the same, and the boy simply shrugged about things, and well, everything seemed fine. The boy was walking down as his mom was simply sending him to go get some ingredients for her famous dish, katsudon. And oh, how he was happy. As he got out the store, simply as the boy was, well, clearly happy, a thug proceeded to pop out as popping off some bullets and simply telling them to put the money in the bag. Everybody was clearly putting money in the bag, and, when he got to the cashier, told them to put the money in the bag, and simply he looked towards the rest of the people as now looking at, well, a woman and her child, simply telling the mother to put the money in the bag. But the woman refused, and simply he had to put her child at gunpoint. He would tell her simply, "All right, lady, I don't gotta all die. Put the money in the bag." Izuku proceeded to look at his watch. As much as he wanted to do something, he couldn't do anything. What could he do? He can't really tell the clerk to stop. But it was killing him inside. The woman completely said that she needed this money to feed her child and the rest of her family, but the man was very adamant of just telling her to put the money in the bag. So clearly he's proceeded to slap her in the face with the gun and take her child hostage. She said, told her to put the money in the bag before he put the bullet in her daughter. As simply, well, the woman screamed out for help for any pro heroes. But the man simply said if he keep on screaming out, he'll just put a bullet in her daughter's head. And Izuku couldn't take it anymore as he snapped into action immediately. That's enough. You don't need to put her at gunpoint, as the boy simply says. The clerk turned towards the boy, saying, "Like, kid, stay out of this." As the man says, "I'm gonna ask you one more time. Put the money in the bag, or your daughter gets a bullet in her head." The woman was sort of frightfully put all of her cash as simply as Zuko says, "No, I won't let you." As Zuko simply clenched his fist. "You can't just do this to people." As the man or simply smile. "Well, kid," as he grabbed the money, "who cares? All I care is I get what I want." And that's it. As he proceeded to pull the trigger on the girl, Zuko would run, jumping towards him, screaming out, "No!" As his hands start to change, morphing into claws with black fur ending on the tips with a bit of white, as simply he would jump on the man as he proceeded to push the gun out of the girl's range as he would shoot, hitting the light as they would proceed to smash through the glass. As the man would immediately go on the street as the man would proceed to look at Zuko surprised as, "Okay, kid, you got my way for the very last time, though. Shit." As he proceeded to shoot at Zuko, as Izuku, with blinding speed, would dodge the bullet, running towards the man. The man would, before he knew it, find himself being flinged back a couple meters as simply the gun was out of his hands. "You little shit." As he pulled out, he started using his quirk. As he simply smashed his fist into the ground as earth started to shoot up as simply Izuku saw this in slow motion. "I can't dodge. Come on, move. Move, damn it, move." And before he knew it, he started growing. He grew bigger and larger As he jumped over whatever that stone pillar, as the man was shocked at seeing, Izuku's look. Izuku grabbing the man, pinning him down. As Izuku would blink, as looking at himself, this is one of his hands, as seeing sleek black fur with slightly grayish tip fur and with claws. Well, they look more white than gray. The boy would blink, seeing this. What the? Huh? As the man would look at the boy, seeing his ruby red eyes. Those dark red eyes. They looked into his, as Suzuku's eyes would simply peer. As the beast would simply snarl. As the man would scream, as finally the pro heroes would arrive. Kami Woods would come out and take the find the villain. And he proceeded to look at the beast and says, "This is your quirk. You need to turn it off. You're doing illegal quirk activation." The wolf looked confused, as somebody saying, "What do you mean?" His voice was deeper, extremely deep. Suzuki had this animalistic urge to kill everything. It unsettled him. "I don't have a quirk." Kevin Woods would question us, simply wondering, "What do you mean you have a quirk? Look at yourself," as he simply says. Izuku turned around and looked at himself in the mirror, seeing a black wolf. A sleek black wolf with a long tail that was, a range of 3 to 4 feet in length, and at least probably 5 to 6 meters in height. 7 foot at least. That was crazy large. The wolf had a very defined body. He didn't look human at all. Well, he had human portions here and there, but nothing too crazy. And his red eyes would peer, and simply they looked at him in reflection. The red slit eyes as Suzuki would blink. "What the?" As Suzuki would say, "How? I was sure I was quirkless." Before he knew it, he started shifting back as he grew back to his normal self. Suzuki blinked as being shocked. "What the?" Looking at his hands, and simply wondering, "Do I have a quirk?" Once Suzuki explained his situation to Kenny Woods, he simply told him not to do it again. The second time. And leave it to the pros. As Izuku proceeded to give Kenny Woods the okay, and, the villain would be taken in. Izuku made his way back home, confused and curious. What on earth happened? So the boy simply, once he made it back home, got in his room and simply made to his bed. He was so confused. When did this happen? Why? He has a quirk? It was strange. He didn't know what was happening. The boy simply decided to close his eyes. Maybe it was late anyway, so he needed to go to bed. So the boy decided to crash. And, in his dreams, he would look, seeing he was in a meadow. A meadow, seeing the wolf. His reflection. It was large. The wolf looked at him. His eyes were bright red, glowing. The animalistic urges, the rage, the hunger in its eyes. It spoke a lot. Ezekiel was kind of frightened by seeing this creature, whatever it was. As the beast would simply jump forward, snapping his jaws, Ezekiel screamed as his mother would burst into the room. Ezekiel actually proceeded to look as Her eyes would widen as she wouldn't say anything. Izuku would look at her as she would scream. Izuku was saying, "Mom, it's alright. It's me." As the boy stopped, as Inko was about to running towards the door, as Izuku would chase her. "Wait, it's me!" As Inko started to throw things at him. "It's me!" As Inko said, "What are you? What did you do to my son?" As she simply said, as Izuku said, "What are you talking about?" He looked at his hands. They were wolf hands? 5 digits, all 5, filled with fluff and fur. He proceeded to make his way towards the bathroom quickly as, looking at himself, the same wolf that he saw in his dreams. So it wasn't a dream. All of it was real. Inko followed the wolf as the wolf was just astonished. The beast turned towards her as, I actually have a quirk." The way it said it was just so emotional. "Izuku," as Inko say, surprised as the boy blinked as Inko proceeded to walk forward as touching his gentle face as simply saying, "How does this?" The black and gray wolf would be confused. I don't know. I swore I thought I was dreaming last night. What happened, but it was true. I have a quirk." The beast simply looked at his hands. This was all so new. But an urge just hit him. Simply his eyes looked at Zinko as the beast simply started walking slowly as he didn't say anything as it goes, "Izuku?" He didn't say anything, he didn't do anything as he simply just started to growl. She started freaked out as he was baring his large fangs at her as simply the beast stood on two legs as simply scaring her as now he's on all four, he was like 7 foot, but he was standing at close, completely height at 14 foot as simply it was freaking her out. Izuku would knock it off as she simply says, as the beast would lift up a claw as before it could swing down, it would stop as the boy would be shocked, saying, "Mom, what just happened?" We need to take you to a quirk doctor. She simply says, I was about to attack you, as the beast simply says. As simply as once they made it to the quirk doctor, Izuku reverted back surprisingly. And well, the results were interesting, to say the least. So, Mr. Midoriya, your son is clearly not quirkless, and it still shows the joint, but he has a quirk here. We just surprised, and he said it's a wolf quirk. So we estimate that it has some desires. And go say, so what are these? Are these Ian desires? Natural instincts, predatory and animal instincts, and carnal desires for, well, human flesh. Izuku blinked as hearing this. I want to kill people? Not you. Your quirk somehow desires. Or whatever. It's acting like, well, more like a werewolf, to be honest. Izuku blinked hearing the term werewolf. Were those tales true? Or were they fake? Was this? That all depends. He couldn't tell these days. He couldn't tell.